Hello and welcome to day 6 of my 20 and 29 day challenge. If you want to know more about the challenge, reference videos 1 and 2. But today's topic is why I'm moving toward minimalism. And I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys today because this is something that's been heavy on my mind in all of 2020 so far. And here's kind of what happened and what pushed me over the edge. Prior to the beginning of this year, I've been interested in minimalism. I've even gone real deep into the tiny house movement and toyed with that in my brain, but realized I'm such a solitary being. If I had to be trapped in a house with my husband that was that small, I think both of us would go a little bit crazy, and 4 pets. So that's down the future. I'm not going that far yet. But essentially, I've been interested in minimalism for a long time because I think it's a responsible and very thoughtful way of living. And what really, really pushed me over the edge was Christmas of 2019. I had some time off, and let me set the scenario for you here. I had some time off that I had been looking so forward to. And as I was trying to relax in my home, I couldn't. And it was because I felt like there was stuff and clutter everywhere. And the longer I sat in it, the more I felt like things were closing in on me. And I didn't have a panic attack, but I was on the verge because it all felt so overwhelming. And I got to the point where I thought, this is self-imposed. I'm doing this to myself. And all these years that I've moved across the country multiple times, I've lived in 11 different states, 12 different states, a lot of moving. I have been moving stuff from place to place to place, wasting money on storage units, wasting money on bigger moving vans because we needed more room for our stuff. And it all came crashing in on me, and I realized, what am I doing?
What the am I doing?
I don't need this stuff. And when I look closer, for most of it, I realized I don't even like this stuff. And it's taking up space in my physical home, and it's cluttering my mind. So how do I fix this? And that was the beginning of my acceptance of my current circumstances, but my active decision to move toward a more minimalist lifestyle. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've posted several videos on decluttering and kind of gone into my method of decluttering, and I'm happy to do that. But at the beginning of the year, I bought a Moleskine notebook, and I wrote every single room in my house on a separate page, and then every area in each room that I wanted to declutter. And as I'm going through my home, decluttering each area, I'm marking each little box off with a highlighter. And this, for me, made the whole process of decluttering and living with less a lot less intimidating because I didn't feel like I had to tackle my whole house all at once. So now that I've set up the scenario of what pushed me to the point of minimalism, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I still want to dive further and further and further into it, and why I think it's such a good idea for me. And maybe after listening to this, you will think it's a good idea for you too. The first one, and I already touched on this, is that it helps to reduce my anxiety. I'm an empath, which essentially means that I feel things very deeply. I'm very aware of my surroundings. And when I'm in a serene, feeling calm type of place, that really reflects in how I act as well. So I want my home to be a clean, tidy, serene sanctuary of a place where I can be rejuvenated, not a place that causes me a bunch of anxiety. And when I see clutter, when I see disorder, when I feel like I can't keep my home clean, then it gives me a lot of anxiety. So moving toward minimalism is drastically, and I don't want to try and oversell this, but for me personally, in my experience, decluttering and moving toward a more minimalistic lifestyle has already drastically reduced the amount of anxiety that I experience on a daily basis. Number 2. And this one, I mean, it's part of the whole thing that I already talked about. But number 2 is keeping my house tidy. When you have less belongings, it's a lot easier to keep your home clean. And this seems like such a no-brainer, but until you do it, I feel like you don't quite realize how much easier it is to keep things clean. Since I started the process of decluttering, my home has been clean since. My husband and I will maybe take 5 minutes a day to put things away or vacuum or do like a little periphery cleaning, but so much less time is spent weekly trying to keep the house tidy. And I think before, I just constantly felt like I was managing clutter. I would put away things and spend half a Saturday cleaning and tidying my home, only to feel like on Sunday everything had exploded again. But when you have less belongings, the stuff doesn't explode out anymore because things have a place and there's less to manage. So it's just infinitely easier to keep your home clean and tidy. And if that's something that you value, then minimalism is, again, a no-brainer. Number 3, it's 2020. I'm 33 years old. I graduated from college with almost $100,000 in student loans for a myriad of reasons, but that's the way that it is. I'm now 10 years into paying those off, but I still have a chunk that I want to pay off. And the reason that this relates to minimalism is when you live a minimalist lifestyle and you are consciously aware of what you're buying and what you're purchasing, same thing, what you're bringing into your home, you naturally spend less money because you already know what you have. So for instance, now when I go to the grocery store, because my fridge is super tidy and minimalistic, I know, okay, I'm out of coconut water, so I need to buy another coconut water. I'm out of this, and I need to restock on these things. And in my pantry, same thing. So not only is my grocery shopping streamlined and way easier to do, but I've also been saving on average $60 a week on groceries. Now, that's a lot of money when you add it up per month and then per year. And the reason that is because everything has a place in my kitchen. So I know exactly what I have and I know exactly what I need each week versus what I did before, which was I'm making a list. I think I have this. I'm not sure if I have this. That's probably in the back of my cabinet, but I don't know for sure. So I'll just buy it again and blah, blah, blah. And over time, that ballooned into having way more stuff than I needed, but also spending more money than I needed to at the grocery store each week because I wasn't conscious about what I already had at home. And for those of you that are already organized, like, bless you. I love that about you and keep it up. But for those of us that haven't been, this is totally revolutionary. I'm saving money. I have peace of mind. And it's fun to cook again. I don't feel like I'm in a hurricane in my kitchen or anywhere else in my home for that matter. And so circling back, spending less money each month allows me to put more money toward my student loan debt and any other debt that I have. And so I feel like it's fiscally responsible and forward thinking for my own financial health and wealth as I enter into this new decade. Number 4, and I touched on this briefly, but moving toward minimalism is helping me reduce my carbon footprint. I'm not buying as many pieces of clothing as I was. I'm not buying as many pieces of makeup as I was. If you watched my video number 5 on reducing your carbon footprint and 4 inexpensive items that you can purchase now to do so, you'll know that I'm drastically reducing the amount of single-use plastics that I have, which also means I'm purchasing less because I'm buying products that can do more things. So environmentally, it's less waste, it's more sustainable, it's less stuff going into the landfill, and it's more money in my pocket. And all of that just makes so much sense to me. And I think at 33 years old, I view things so differently. I'm not so worried about having the latest shirt or the newest lip gloss or whatever it is that people spend money on, or that I used to spend money on so readily, even putting it on a credit card because I felt like I just had to have it. I don't feel that way anymore. I want to have things in my home that truly bring me joy, that are comfortable to wear, that feel good. I would rather spend more money on a few pieces of clothing than $100 to get 6 items of fast fashion that last me 1 year. So I think it's reducing my carbon footprint. It's making me a more conscious consumer. I'm learning more about the way that things are made and produced. And it's just having a ripple effect throughout my entire life in a really positive way. And number 5, and this is just an extension of all of them, it keeps my focus on what's important in my life. And acquiring belongings is not important to me. And if that is something that's important to you, I don't want you to feel like a bunch of judgment waves coming through the screen, because you're entitled to feel whatever you feel like about what is important in your life, and bless you for that. But for me, acquiring things is not important. I want to have financial health and financial wealth, and I want to move through life softly. I don't want to be in a space that is closing in on me because there's so much stuff and junk that I don't care about. I want every little thing in my home to have a purpose and a function, or to be something that really truly brings me joy. And not only does this make for a tidier, more lovely home to exist in, but it also creates a whole new energy dynamic in my home. When I'm intentionally living in a space full of things that are curated, that bring me joy, that have meaning, that radiates in my mental health as well. So that's just one more reason that I'm moving toward minimalism. Everybody is entitled to live however they feel led to live. But for me, moving toward minimalism, just in the short amount of time that I've been doing it, has drastically reduced my anxiety. It makes me feel really good about the choices that I'm making. I've spent less money. And I feel more connected to what's important in my life. And so if those things are things that matter to you and feel valuable to you, then you might want to start this process. If you have questions about it, please let me know, and I'll help you in any way that I possibly can. Couple quick announcements before I sign off. My podcast, Self-Discovery with Jaclyn Steele, launched last week, and I'm pretty excited about this. It's my love letter to you guys. It's about self-actualization and self-discovery and recovering those parts of ourself that we've lost along the way. It's about increasing our joy and increasing the vibration in which we live life, and really being our truest, most authentic selves out in this world. Because I believe that when we know who we are, then we can go and be who we are. And there's no greater impact than somebody who knows who they are and they're willing to be that in the world and love people so wholeheartedly. That stuff is just, it's so transformational. So I invite you to take part in that. You can listen to it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are streaming. And yeah, if you want to know more information about me, visit jaclynsteeleinternational.com. That's my big hub website. And then if you want to know more about my music, you can visit jaclynsteele.com. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your eyeballs. I wish you light, and I wish you love, and I wish you peace.